Hey besties, it's Nat back again with another speed build for you. You might be asking yourself, why does she have a shopping cart? Well, the answer to that is that today we are building a convenience store, but not just any convenience store. We are going to turn Bob's house into a convenience store. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is actually part 2 of a series where I am building out my lazy neighborhood. This is what we did in part 1. It's super cute. So if you want to check that out, the link will be in the card. But yeah, today is part 2, and we're working on Bob's convenience store, and it's going to be great. We're going to do an exterior. We're going to do an interior. We're going to do the inside of Bob's house. It's going to be fantastic. You're going to love it. So, grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's hop into the build. Hello again, besties. It's me, voiceover Nat, checking in to tell you 2 things. One is I'm preemptively saying happy Sunday because my gut is telling me that this is going to go up at like 12:01 a.m. on Sunday instead of on Saturday. I'm going to be very upset with myself. Also, yes, here I am destroying an incline. I've had this incline for a long time, hence the tears earlier. Now we are fast forwarding to move Bob's house because he is the subject of this video. Second thing I wanted to say was thank you all so much for 4K subs. What the heck? Hi everyone. This is weird. I don't even know how to process 4K subs. I could barely process 500 subs. And I still haven't released my New Leaf Town Tour, but it's coming, okay? Just be patient with me. Also, yes, I was having shooting stars when this is happening. I don't know if you see it in the video, but it was very distracting, and I luckily time traveled away from this time, so I wouldn't be distracted by the stars, which distract me in a similar way as the balloons do when I'm normally building. Here I am just fidgeting with Bob's house. I wanted it to be like similarly positioned relative to Bo's house compared to how they used to be, and I think I achieved that. I also wanted to make room for these vending machines, and unfortunately I did not have enough room for the ball capsule machine, which is very upsetting to me. I'll probably find somewhere else on my island to put it, but it's just so cute, and I thought it would be perfect for a lazy villager neighborhood, but unfortunately we did not fit it into this build. We did, however, fit a lot of other very cute things into this build that I'm very excited to show you. Speaking of very cute things, as I stated in the beginning, this is part 2 of my lazy neighborhood building series. Part 1 was building the playground, which is slightly below this area. And once again, the link is in the card to go watch that if you haven't seen it. It is very adorable and I love it. I've made some small adjustments since you last saw it, but it's pretty much the same and I'm still in love with it. And I think it's great. Here I am beginning the gas station part of the store. It's less of a convenience store and more of like a general store, but obviously when I was doing that voiceover at the beginning, my brain could not process the word convenience store, so here we are now. But yes, it's more of like a general store. The idea is that like Bob owns this store and it's like the last stop on the way to the campground, so like campers will come and get their gas, get their groceries, all the stuff that they need, and then they'll be on their merry way. But if they want to, they can also have a picnic. This is honestly, like, in the area that I'm from, it's very common for, like, a gas station to also have, like, picnic tables and sell food. And what's funny is that in the final build, I had the outdoor kitchen directly next to the gas pump. And my sister pointed out when she came to visit, she was like, that seems dangerous. I'm like, you know what? It does seem dangerous. So don't honk at me when I'm filming a voiceover. Anyways, for the sake of fire safety, I did put a street lamp in between the gas pump and the campfire stove thing. Does that make it any more safe? No, but as I once said on a live stream, I think, this build needs a fire hazard, and that still rings true, really, But yeah, that's what we're up to now. I ended up deciding that since it's a gas station, this should all be pavement, and I'm glad that I decided that, because I think it looks really nice. And I'm just messing around with the gas pumps. Initially, I had 2 gas pumps, but then I was like, that takes up too much space. and is dumb. So what if it just had, it's a tiny gas station. So it totally makes sense that it would just be one gas pump, and that was that. What was I doing here? I'm just standing around. Speaking of standing around, sorry that this video is so late. I procrastinate on recording it? Yes. Was I expecting to get food poisoning again for the second time in like a month this morning? No, absolutely not. And I still kind of feel garbo, but I drank a lot of tea and I ate a lot of haichu from the dollar store, and I'm feeling pretty all right now. You know, not my best, but, you know, it could be worse. I definitely felt worse when I got food poisoning from Wendy's. That was a real betrayal, because I'm already at my lowest if I'm going to Wendy's for food. And then they just stuck the knife right in my back, and I don't appreciate them for that at all. Wendy's, please. I'm already so low, and you just bring me lower. Here I am switching the road from the stone to the light dirt so that later on, when I complete this road, I can do that cute little trick I did by my farm where I made it like cracks in the road. And I used this area in particular to switch it over because obviously tiles that have any transparency to them will conform to the shape of the in-game path, but the crosswalk does not have transparency, so I was able to swap it over in between the two sides of the crosswalk. My big genius brain. Another thing that made this build particularly difficult was collecting all of the recipes that I needed to complete it. There are a ton of items that I wanted to use inside the house that I wanted to bring outside the house, and so obviously when I'm using my Happy Home Paradise ability, even if it's on my own island, I have access to recipes that I don't actually know in the normal game. So in order to get those items outside, I had to actually learn the recipes, and that involved going on Nookazon and spending a lot of time collecting them. Everyone I talked to was very nice. It was a much better experience than my last experience with Nookazon, because, you know, it's always variable. It just depends on the time. But even then, you know, even with very, you know, easy, very kind trades, it still took a really long time. And that is also partially why this build is so late. But you know what? I'm going to stop apologizing now because that gets old very quickly. And you know what? I did post the build. Here we are. I'm talking to you. If you're hearing this right now, then I succeeded and I posted the build. And look at that. Look at me. Unfortunately, another item that got left out of the final build was this adorable red moped that I specifically colored red for Bob. Because Bob, you know, his house is all primary colors. We do change the outside of his house, and you'll see that soon. Very soon, actually. But yes, I got the red moped specifically for Bob, and then I ended up not using it. But I will probably end up using it somewhere else on the island. There's going to be a lot of vehicles everywhere, and I did use the car and the truck. I like how the truck is like back behind on the side of the build. I think it's really fun. I also used a lot of wheat field, including stealing some wheat field from Bo's yard. I ended up not completing Bo's yard in this video, partially for time reasons, partially because, yes, I am still angry at him. Once again, for context, check out the last video. But yes, still upset with him. Don't really want to decorate his yard right now. I will decorate it just for completing my island's sake, but I'm not going to be happy about it. But yeah, I'm just cleaning up. I ended up cleaning up the upper cliffs off camera just because it was easier. And I was so, I felt so awful this morning, but I was like, I have to finish the build. So I like set up my recording stuff in my bed, and I was in bed with my like capture card and my Switch and my dock all plugged in, and like the dock was like on the side of the bed, and I was recording. And then there were some points where I was like, I don't even want to record this, and I just took the Switch out of the dock, and I would like clean up an area or like mess around or like go to Harv's Island off camera. I'm like, we don't need this. One thing that I will say is that it was very cute how Bob was wandering around this whole time while I was building. Ooh, okay, this is super exciting. This is my first time ever working on a house outside of Happy Home Paradise, and it was so fun and so easy. One very important thing to note, you cannot access the room sketch app while you are building a house. Here you can see I decided to keep the roof the same, and then I changed the door to be a different red door, but it's still red, and then the exterior is white. So I wanted to keep the spirit of Bob's house while also making it slightly more on theme with my island and making it look a little bit more like a gas station. I also modeled it off of the colors of the OK Motors sign from Pocket Camp, which you saw I used outside earlier. But yes, you cannot access the sketch app, the room sketch app, from inside this mode, which is very irritating. Because I was like, I had to do all of this from memory. I planned this entire build out in the Room Sketch app, which I'm so thankful that I did, because that would have taken so long if I was just doing this just out of my brain. But I ended up having to do it out of my brain anyway, because the game would not let me see what I had done, and that was a big shock to me. Like, why can't I see the Room Sketch app? Isn't that not the point, so that I can plan builds out ahead of time and then look at them while I'm building them? But luckily, I apparently have a photographic memory for Animal Crossing builds, and I was able to copy it exactly. I checked afterwards, and everything was in the exact same spot. I was so impressed with myself. I'm like, wow, I did it. But yes, now you're gonna see the general store vibes, okay? If you've ever been inside like a country store, general store type place, you will see my exact vision as it comes together, okay? This store, you know, it mostly sells food, it mostly sells snacks, but it sells a little bit of everything, okay? You have the fishing rods for sale, you have like fish up on the wall. They're not for sale, they're just for decoration. This country sign that hangs from the ceiling, literally perfect. I was so pleased with that. That and this wallpaper. I kind of wish that I had the supermarket wallpaper, but unfortunately, I did not have that in my catalog, and I didn't feel like looking for it after the rest of the time I'd spent on Nookazon looking for things. But yeah, I was using Tom Nook specifically to make sure that Bob could access all the parts of the build, specifically the cash register, because I thought it would be cute if he was like the cashier. I can actually bring Bob into the build. That's part of like my access, I guess, that I can like plop him down in there. But I did not think to do that, and I just used Tom Nook instead. He worked just fine. That bulletin board, also very important. You gotta have like the community board where they post like, you know, little ads and stuff. But yeah, very much country store. You have the frozen items, you have the dry goods on the shelves. They're likely very old, very dusty. You have the little cash register area. You have the slushy machine. That was very important for me to add because every gas station in Maine has food of some kind. Obviously, that's not like unique to Maine, but what is unique to Maine is that a lot of gas stations have pizza because there's very little pizza delivery. I imagine if you're in some other rural area of America that you also have experienced this, where the houses are too far spread apart for you to get pizza delivery. So the gas station becomes the pizza restaurant. And honestly, some gas station pizza, it's not bad. It's pretty good. And also, they always have hot sauce. You gotta put hot sauce on your pizza. That's just the way that it is. Hot sauce is the correct condiment for pizza, and I will not hear otherwise. There I am putting in the slushy machine, and I ended up putting, I think I ended up just putting some, I put some cans on that little counter, and I turned it into the fish customization because obviously Bob is a cat, so you gotta have the fish because he's a cat. Very adorable. But I thought of just, normally the counter wouldn't have cans on it, but maybe they're restocking the store and like it's a little messy in there. I thought this area with the seedlings or like the little potted plants on top of the bag of fertilizer was very adorable. And we also put a ladder in here, so Bob can reach up on those really high shelves. I also went with a pink motif in here. I thought that pink and green would be a fun color scheme for Bob. He's a very colorful guy. So we had the pink dessert freezer and the pink retro wall clock, which I am still obsessed with. And then we also have a lot of pops of green, like the radio and the rug and a couple of other items. And obviously we have the pink carts. I ended up recoloring the carts outside to orange just to match the exterior of the house. But I really like the pink motif on the inside. I think it's a lot of fun. Obviously, gotta have cobwebs. This place is dusty. And we also have that sign hanging above the drink station to let you know, hey, you can get coffee here. If you're a fisherman and you're awake at 3 a.m, this is where you come to get your coffee before you go out and fish. Once again, we also have that little sign to let you know that this is a legal establishment, and Bob is likely not going to poison you. Sound off for me in the comments. Would you buy food from this man? Let me know. I probably wouldn't, but actually, no, that's a lie. I absolutely would, because I buy things from places like this all the time. I think it's specifically because it's Bob that I would be more hesitant. This was the most difficult part of the build to remember, because I was like, what order are the fish in? And I also wanted to put the gyroids up on the wall to like sing along to the music. I set the music to be Neapolitan. That poster is adorable. I set the music to be Neapolitan because that's Bob's music. You know, I want to keep some of his influence in this build. But I ended up switching out the Spikenoid for a different gyroid because his noise is just so grating. I was like, this is terrible. I'm going to hate being in Bob's house if I set this to be like this. So yeah, that's what I did. And once again, my default instinct to just clutter everything up took over, and the walls are covered in stuff now. Do I build the same thing every time? Not every time. Do I build maybe like the same 3 things every time? Perhaps. You know what, my goal for myself is to diversify, but I think that the reason that I was looking at this like, God, this looks like everything that I do, is simply because it's for my own island. So of course it fits the theme of the other stuff that I'm doing on my own island, if that makes sense. So I was like, okay, you're not just being repetitive. There's a purpose. Don't be too hard on yourself. I think we're almost done with the exterior, though. I was just messing around with some things, trying my hardest to remember, like, did I have something hanging here? Or, like, what was going on with this? It was so difficult. I felt like I was taking a test. You know when you're taking a test in school and, like, you think that you're allowed to have notes and then you can't? And then you're, like, freaking out the entire time. Like, I thought I could look at my notes and I can't. I'm scared. That's how I felt doing this. Another thing that I forgot to mention that made this part difficult for me in particular was the fact that I didn't realize until after I had finished, like, oh wait, in order to get B-roll of inside Bob's house, I'm gonna have to be able to get into Bob's house. So towards the end of this, I like kept time traveling to like get Bob to go into his house, and it wasn't working. And so the B-roll for this might be from the Room Sketch app, which is not ideal, but you know what? Oh my god, it took me forever to find this stupid song. Anyways, it's not ideal, but Bob does what he wants, and I can't, unfortunately, force him to go into his house as much as I would want him to. Here I am shining some things. I gave, obviously, the cool stuff, gotta be cool, and then I think I shined something else. I put the little talking thing on the radio, of course, obviously. Here I am messing with the what's it called, the gyroids. This Arfoid, adorable. I just didn't like how he looked, so I ended up replacing him, but the noise he makes is very cute. I dug him up the other day. He was buried in Coco's yard. Coco's pottery studio coming soon, maybe eventually. It's definitely on the list. Coco's Pottery Studio is on the list, besties. You will be seeing that in the future. Can I tell you exactly when? Absolutely not. What I can tell you is that I am super excited for both of next week's videos. The one going up on Wednesday, I am personally very excited for because it is very near and dear to my heart, which you will find out about when it comes out. And the one going up on Saturday, I think you guys are going to love, based on my analytics and which videos you guys like the most, which ones get the most views. I'm just saying, that's your hint. But you guys can probably figure out pretty quickly from that hint what it's going to be. But, you know, I'm curious to see your guesses. That intrigues me. This is the outside of Bob's house after it's been renovated. I think it looks really cute. I like how it still has the essence of Bob's house to it. Like, it still feels like his house, but it fits the theme more. That, I think, is going to be my goal for all of my villager house renovations. And some are going to stay more similar than others, but I think this one looks really nice. As you can see, I was still experimenting with the pink there, but I ended up changing it to the orange to match the OK Motor sign, and I think that is very adorable. There is the car and the white gas pump over there, and the white picket fence, which I used to sort of separate from the back area, which is going to be just full of like boxes and like materials and tools and stuff. That was what I was looking for the most, was just like the recipes that turn individual items into stacks of items. So like the stack of cardboard boxes, the stack of fish containers, the stack of bottle containers, all of that. This stack of shopping bags. I did give Bo a chainsaw. You're welcome, Bo. I gave you something. If you saw over there briefly, I decided that his house could be like just like a normal person's house, but you know, he's selling campfire wood outside to the campers that are driving by. That was sort of the vision with that. Once again, if you're from Maine, you know people be selling campfire wood on the side of the road. Another item that I was very excited to use was this tire stack, a thing that I never think that I'm going to use. Similarly to the gas pump, to be honest. Just items where I'm like, I'll never use this, and then now look at me, I'm building a gas station. Oh, how the times have changed. I also managed to fit that, what's it called? Toolbox behind the fence on top of a cardboard box, and I think that looks very adorable as well. I messed around a lot with like the orientation of stuff back here, and it took me a minute, but I'm pretty pleased with how it came out. It'll probably change a little bit as the cliffs behind it change. What's interesting about decorating my island as opposed to doing Happy Home Paradise is that with Happy Home Paradise, everything is done in like one shot, you know? Obviously, I might go back to a build and make a second floor, or I might change the outside or the inside, but essentially, like, you do it once and then it's done, and that's just how it looks, unless I changed it very drastically, you know? Whereas with my island, it's all one big space. So even as I'm completing these smaller areas, there's still areas around it that aren't done. So in my brain, I'm like, it's not done. But, like, it's done, you know? And if I keep that mindset of like constantly spreading out the field of vision for like decorating a space, then I'm never going to decorate anything. And honestly, I think that making videos has made it a lot easier for me to decorate my island because it like forces me to do it. Like, obviously, this build was more rushed than I would have liked it to be. I wish I had more time. I wish that I hadn't gotten sick in the middle of decorating it. But in the end, I did get it done. And even if it does change in the same way that like my farm changed, I did do it, you know? So that's better than just having not done it and being like, oh, well, I have to find time out of my day to do this. No, I forced myself to find time in my day to do it. And I'm quite happy with it. And I hope you guys are happy with it too. I think it's really adorable. Here, as you can see, we are using the wheat field object to look like weeds or like tall grass, which is, I think, what most people use the wheat field as. Obviously, there's a lot of farm core stuff going on, and people are able to use it for that, which is super cool. But like, it just works so well, and it's so much easier than like waiting for weeds to grow. But I'm still like getting used to using it, so you know, my style will develop over time. And there's a lot of builds that I have planned that utilize a lot of wheat field, so I'm gonna have to practice at some point, and this is my practice. I'm gonna probably put more wheat field in Bo's yard as well. I did actually end up stealing some from his yard because I hate him and I don't want him to have nice things, and I needed them more for Bob's house. Bob deserves everything. I love him. He's adorable. Love that guy. But yeah, as you can see, I'm just messing with the stuff that goes in the back. I experimented with these oil drums. I ended up keeping one of them and then getting rid of the other one. It was much easier to decorate the outside of his house once I had actually done the inside, because that way I knew what his final exterior was going to be. I think that there is a lot of blue going on, and if I was going to change anything about this space, I might change the color of either the truck or the car, because like it's a blue truck and a blue car and a blue roof. It's a lot of blue, so I might change one of those things. But also, I don't know, the blue and orange, they're very nautical. The theme is good, but I just think I need to work on the colors a little bit, if that makes sense. But I am happy with it. There I stole from Genji to... Not from Genji. Oh, I would never steal from Genji. I stole from Bo, who I hate. I love Genji. Actually, I went to Genji's house earlier, and he flirted with me, and I was very uncomfortable. I'm like, Genji, you have a man. Why are you asking me my opinion on romance movies and being like, we should watch them sometime? Genji, stop it. That's so... I don't want to get into it. There's a little bit of villager drama in this video. The most hilarious conversation I have ever watched occur between two villagers, between Fuchsia and Marshall. So obviously the background of that is Fuchsia is dating Coco and Marshall is dating Genji, and Marshall was involved in that love triangle with Coco and Genji. So, you know, I can understand why they would have beef, but I can also understand why Fuchsia would have beef with Marshall simply on the merits of Marshall's personality being horrible and Fuchsia having absolutely no time for it, which I respect a lot. Good for her. I'm just filling out these guys. I have these orange hyacinths because they come out of the purple hyacinths. So I end up having a lot of them after a while of not really paying attention to how my flowers are breeding. And I use them for Halloween as like a decoration. But I think I might get rid of them. I don't know. They're cute seasonally, but they're not really what I want. Part of me thinks that I should bring back the pink hyacinths. But once again, I didn't like how they looked because I thought it was like too fairy core. But I don't know. We'll see. I have a lot of purple and I have a lot of blue. And I discovered that it let me put music on here. I think I put on Forest Life because I thought it would be adorable, but I might change it. And I might also put like that old beat up radio out there. That would be adorable. I just thought it would be cute to have some music. I love to put music outdoors just as like setting like the mood, I guess, of the island. But yes, here's my incredibly dangerous picnic area. As you can see, the stove, the outdoor kitchen is right next to the gas pump, which honestly, there's some visual comedy for you, okay? You're not just getting that on anyone's YouTube channel, only mine. We gotta have the chip bag also, very important. But yeah, it's just like a little picnic area. There's lots of places near my house where it's like a gas station / lobster pound, where you can get lobster and like sit outside and eat it. Get a lobster roll, some nice crispy fries on the side. Oh god, that sounds so delicious right now. I miss seafood. It's not that there's no seafood in Atlanta, it's just not the same as like you live on an island off the coast of Maine and you get fresh seafood all the time. I was very spoiled, I must say. I wasn't out here getting lobster every day, you know. No, I'm not that spoiled, but I definitely took advantage of where I was living. Let's just say that. Yeah. Just filling out this area a little bit more. Like I said, I cleaned up the cliffs off camera. I think that I already did that actually. But I'll probably clean them up a little bit more later on. Obviously I will because I'm going to change that area out. Bob is so cute. I wish he would go inside of his house though, so I could film B-roll of his house. Sir, you'll see at the end of the video if I get it or not. It'll be very exciting. It'll be like a little plot twist at the end, whether or not I got the B-roll or not. Because even I don't know as I'm recording this right now for you. It'll be a surprise for both of us. I think I stole something from his yard. I don't know. I don't care. It's none of my business. I also screwed up stunting my trees. The tree next to the soccer field did not remember to stunt it, and I had to plant a new tree. Very embarrassed. But I stunted the other trees, so we're in business in that department. We're almost towards the end. The last thing that I did for this build was I worked on this area below. I'm probably going to terraform the water a little bit more. I don't like those lily pad things in the middle, but I was like, that's for another time. We'll deal with her later. For now, let's just deal with this area. I just wanted it to be like a cute little spot where, you could come sit by the water, feed the ducks. I put like a little fishing rod so you could sit and fish. I put a little picnic blanket where you could read a book. Thought that was super cute. And sort of fits in with this being like a pedestrian friendly area. People are visiting here. This kind of reminds me of like the area outside of where I went to school when I was a kid, like the middle school that I went to. It was in the center of like a very small town, like the type of town that only has like one street light in the whole town. And you could walk to the gas station and get a snack, or you could go to the playground and hang out on the playground. And it was super adorable. There wasn't any water. The water was like farther down the road. Like, it was definitely walking distance, but not like a place that we would go hang out super often. Usually I'd hang out by the water near my house, or when I was in like the bigger town visiting my friends. But I definitely walked home from school a lot when I was a kid. My house was like slightly too far away for it to be a comfortable walk home from school. But sometimes the bus ride home was really long, because essentially there were only 2 buses, and one went to the like west side of town and the other went to the east side of town. So even though my house was super close to the school relative to the other houses, it was always the last stop. So sometimes I would like get off at an earlier stop and walk home from there, and sometimes I would just straight up skip the bus and just walk home on my own and like go to the gas station, get a snack. Sometimes I'd do the reverse and I would like walk to the gas station from my house and get a snack. And that was an adventure, because that was like, you go downhill to get the snack and then you go uphill to get back home. See, now I'm at the rambling phase of this voiceover, because there's so little left going on. But I do like how that little area in the front of the gas station turned out. I think it's really adorable, and it's really simple, you know? There's not a lot going on, but the stuff that is going on, I think, is very cute and appropriate. At the point when my shovel broke, I was literally about to snap, besties. Like, you have no idea. Oh, this is hilarious. Marshall is suggesting to me that we invite a film crew to the island to film a movie, of course, in which he stars. Fuchsia is having none of this. She sees right through it. She's like, Marshall and his delusions, and he's putting them on me, involving both of us. Watch this interaction. A knuckle sandwich. She just threatened him. When I tell you, I screamed when I read that. I'm like, that is so hilarious. Fuchsia. I mean, if I was her, I would be sick of him too. I'm gonna be honest. I love Marshall, but we've discussed this before. He has an attitude, and sometimes I understand. Fuchsia's not built for that. She doesn't have to be. That's not her business. That's not her responsibility. Marshall and his delusions, not her responsibility. But yeah, I thought you all should see that. I haven't done a villager conversation cutaway in a while, but yes, that was really a wonderful moment for me, because I was so frustrated with the build at this point. Like, my shovel had just broke, and I was trying to get this build done on time, and I was freaking out, and then that happened, and I was just like, it was just this moment of like, oh, that's so funny. I deserve that. I deserve that hilarious interaction. Thank you, game, for making me laugh when I was at my lowest. Here we are. I was just adjusting some tiny little things over here. I left that, like, what's it called? That ring toss over there that used to be in front of Bob's house. It's the primary colors. It has, like, the wood parts to it. Super adorable. I just thought it was cute to have, like, a little place for a kid to play. You know, like a little kid's toy. And I ended up switching out that crate for a life preserver, which I think is very adorable. Addicted to that picnic blanket. Love the picnic blanket. Obsessed with the picnic blanket. We stand. We also put this duck. And I also went around my island and collected some white mums to plant around, as well as some weeds, just to fill out the space. I also used this adorable little purse that I got from Kix. I love the purses that we can put on the ground. They're so useful. And this little drink that I got from Red's raffle. Once again, something I discovered in my last speed build, that you can get all of those items from Red's raffle all year round, not just at the fireworks festival. This little dirt patch is a nod to the way this area used to look as well. I used to have that dirt patch along with a well, which I thought was very cute. I'll find another place to put the well, though. The well is a good item. Here I am. I think the last thing that I did was I cleaned up all this stuff that was on the ground, and then I messed with the road to the west of the building, just to like... Ooh, and I gave Bo a sled. You're welcome, Bo. Okay? Be happy. I messed with the road to the west of the building, trying to, like, experiment and, like, try to get that, like, broken road sort of vibe. I don't know how to describe it. It's in my, farm speed build. I keep meaning to show you guys my farm, too, because I changed it. I'll post some pictures on Instagram. I changed my farm again. I didn't record it because... the farm, for some reason, something about it was stressing me out. and I just gave myself permission. I was like, just do it off camera. And I'm so happy that I did because I think it looks great. But yes, I kept the road though. There's the road trick you're gonna see in a second, and I totally failed at it because I forgot that the piece of road that has like the white line on it doesn't have like a distressed edge. It's just a straight edge. So I aborted mission and did not end up doing that little effect. I'll do it somewhere else though, on this stretch, on this little area. The next thing that I want to work on in this area is probably Maddie's house, because in order to make the campground, I have to know how much space Maddie's house is going to take up. She's going to take up a lot of space, besties, okay? Be prepared. Here I am moving this around. It's so funny. I'm hilarious, okay? We love a fire hazard. We don't. Do not quote me on that, okay? Oh my gosh. This video is a mess. But you know what? Would it be my channel if it wasn't a mess? Think about that. And we gotta have a leaf pile, obviously. Very important. And I think we're about done. Oh, I just cleaned up some of these flowers. Got them out of the way. Yeah, I'm getting rid of the white cosmos. I'm just replacing them all with the white mums. It's gonna be easier. Just more clean and simple. And nice. We love that. But yeah, I think we're at the end of the build. Yeah, I think we are. Look at me. I'm so cute, and so is this build. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Once again, sorry this video was a little bit late, but you know, life got in the way. But I'm glad that I got it out to you guys, and I'm super happy with how it came out. I'm also super excited for what's in store next week, so be on the lookout. Make sure you have that little bell icon rung next to the subscribe button so you get notifications every time that I upload a video. And yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. The support you guys have shown me the past couple of weeks has been absolutely crazy. Thank you all so much again for 4K. A super warm welcome to all of you new friends to the channel, and I'll see you guys all again on Wednesday. Bye!